Hey guys, John DeLemme here, the founder of Conservative Business Journal and a host of the CBJ Real News Podcast Show. And a good-looking, gorgeous young man next to me is Pastor Shane Vaughn, aka Professor Toto. How are you, young
Yeah.
man?
Oh man, I'm better now. I'm on live with some good people that me and Karen love so much. And by the way, but you got the best introduction of all the podcasters. I love it. It's
Well,
amazing.
I
Good
appreciate
job.
that. I appreciate that, brother. I'll let our team know, and
Yes.
that's what we're doing at the Real News. So I want to give you the introduction. You know, I know you as a personal friend. I love you. I love you dearly. You and your wife, Karen. Karen can go. Your wife owns that piano. Just owns it.
she's an amazing pianist, that's for
I
sure.
mean, she
She
can
hey
go.
she plays me as good as she does the keyboard.
So, you guys, for those of you who may not be familiar with Professor Toto, aka Shane
Is
Vaughn,
there
Pastor
anybody?
Shane Vaughn.
Whoa, what?
That's what there are some people who haven't woke up yet to
I
Toto.
know, right? Tell them to quit being woke and come awake. I love it.
They haven't woken up yet. So as you can hear from his awesome accent, he's like me. He's from New Orleans, not
New
New York.
Orleans.
New Orleans, Louisiana, now a proud citizen of the state of Mississippi. He serves a small congregation, but God was tested him and trusted him for years in Mississippi. As their pastor, as a pastor, First Harvest Ministries, he's a father with 3 children, proud husband, an awesome Karen, and he strives to live the American dream, and more importantly, leave that dream behind for his family, a thriving career. But this is where it gets very interesting. He began full-time ministry as an evangelist of the gospel of Jesus Christ at the young age of 16 years of age. Recently celebrating 30 years of full-time ministry, people. And this is what's powerful. He came to desire to learn more. That's why the professor was in him, to learn more about the great gift God gave to him gave to him at his birth, American citizenship. As a natural-born citizen of the great republic, like so many others like myself, a lot of people take this privilege for granted. However, the more he began to study our founding principles and doctrines and documents, which was God warming him up for this season, he became immersed in understanding this great experiment called the Republic, for which we stand. And during the 2020 presidential election season, like all of us, as Donald J. Trump was fighting the darkness of the liberal left for America's swampland in D.C., Professor Toto started to come alive. Pastor Shane Vaughn got immersed in this process immediately after the November election, which was a contested election, a rare American occurrence. He was surprised at how quickly our citizens accepted the final outcome of that election. As faith would happen, he turned live on his Facebook and spent 7 minutes educating America on what happens if Donald Trump does not concede. So few understood that our presidential elections are technically not decided by our individual votes, but rather by the House of Representatives in the U.S. Congress. And that decision is not rendered officially until January 6th. The video went viral overnight. Over 10 million views in a matter of days via social media as well as YouTube. That's just November 3rd. It was from the pivotal moment that news organizations began to write about him and interpretation of the Constitution, all of which came to fruition as he shared in that video, as we became the professor and taught in that video. The election was officially decided on January 6th. During that time, he found himself pulling back the curtain. Here we go, pulling back the curtain on the U.S. process of government, and found this comparable to the small puppy in the classic movie, The Wizard of Oz. His name was Toto. He saw the shadows behind the curtain, and his actions would reveal the lies of the smokescreen being presented by a fake wizard. From this concept, he began referring to his political persona as Professor Toto, and the rest has become successful history. So, Professor Toto, welcome to the CBJ Real News Podcast Show. And on a very serious note, I thank you for your God-given gift and in your boldness and your courage to step out and educate Americans about how proud we are as conservatives and as members of the Republic. So, and now recently, when a vaccine hit, you said enough is enough. You saw this as a communist war, and you put together a vaccine exemption form, which now you get national press on that too. So Toto's cranking in action, as we say, right?
I'm sorry I lost that last part, John. My battery's going out of my earphones.
I
I'm
showed
so
it. I was
sorry.
saying now
Thank you.
Professor Toto's cranking in action, and you got your religious exemption form being downloaded by 40,000
Yeah.
people. So kind of tell me about a little more about the Professor Toto and how did it evolve, and now it's evolving into this communist war
Yeah.
about the weapon device, the obviously vaccine, you're giving people hope with the exemption.
It's really been a great success. Thank you for having me, John. I know how precious these broadcasts are. I know how protective you are of what God has given to you. And for you to invite me to your space is a great honor that I don't take lightly.
I appreciate it.
Thank
Thank
you.
you,
And
brother.
Christy, we love you and your beautiful wife so very much. My wife sends her love and her greetings. And so I just say, I want to tell everybody, I am having some earpiece trouble, John. So in a few minutes, if this battery decides to die, I will read your lips and answer your questions because I won't have an earpiece.
Sure.
But we'll go from there. So about a month ago, no, sorry, about 2 months ago, I was studying the EOCC, the Equal Opportunity Employment Act. I was reading through the laws concerning jobs. So many people were writing me scared to death they were going to lose their jobs. And sort of like the Constitution, I saw inside that ruling from the EOCC, and I shared that on our show. We go live every night on YouTube. Well, I'm banned right now, but anyway, normally we try to. But I told the people, I said, there's only one way out of the vaccination. There's only one way. There's no other way except a religious exemption form. And because the EOCC makes it plain that every employer must honor a religious exemption. When we first went on there, a lot of people thought that, we didn't know what we were talking about. And so I wrote a letter and I put it up on our website, which is totosarmyofpatriots.com. And I went and I looked the next day, and there were several thousand downloads, and I was shocked. And then about a week later, we started getting so many messages from people that their jobs had been saved from that letter, even more so than the letters written by Jay Sekulow and the Liberty Counsel, as much as I love those folks. But they went at it from a different angle than I did, and I felt that the Holy Spirit gave me the direction to go with that letter. Long story short, to date, Reuters News, they interviewed me about 3 weeks ago, and here's how they found me, John. There was a successful lawsuit against the University of Michigan by a young lady that used my letter, and they denied my letter. She brought that letter to court. The judge read the letter. The judge overruled the university's decision. Now she has a major lawsuit against them. And the Reuters news reporter saw my letter in that ruling, contacted me 3 weeks ago. I was a bit gun shy. I wasn't going to do the interview because I don't trust any of them, especially somebody that works for Reuters. But I just felt in my spirit that this was the time to do an interview. And the interview came out yesterday on every news organization.
Proud of you, brother. I'm massively proud of you. And I sent it out. I said, that's my man, Toto.
Thank you.
Because it's God working too. It's such a godly story. Because
That's all it is.
I mean, small time pastor in Mississippi, but David was a small time shepherd boy too that slew Goliath and cut his head off with the only part in the helmet that was open, a little slither, God got in there and got him. Right. I mean, I think it's phenomenal. I think it's just.
Well, you want to see my email since that article, John. You want to see the people now. They're begging to save my job, save my career, it's heartbreaking, literally heartbreaking to see how people are having to choose between their religious conscience and their jobs, and they're choosing their religious conscience.
That's available, Toto, because we'll have it throughout the whole show. That's available on totosarmyofpatriots.com, correct?
Yes, sir. That's correct. It's about halfway down the homepage.
Okay.
Quick testimonial. There's a gentleman by the name of Percy. He lives in a small town called Bogalusa, Louisiana. And Percy's job was on the line. He had been in the police force for many years. He was is a captain. And he was losing his career, John. To me and you, it's just a story, right? But to him, It's his years in a uniform. It's retirement. Everything was fixing to be gone. And we gave him a letter. They denied the letter. He wrote me back. He wrote me at 11:45 at night, emailed me. And he couldn't get hold of me, so he emailed my wife, begging, pleading, because he had to have an appeal written by midnight. So we got that appeal in for him a few seconds before. The appeal came back. He won the appeal. So now the man's career is saved. And I could tell you story after story after story. So God, and in the article, John, they said at the first line that our church looks like a little shed.
And I saw that. I read that.
On it.
Of course. But they're messing with God. They're messing with Jehovah Jireh. They're messing with the God that opened up that Red Sea, that it destroyed everybody. I mean, this is we are in biblical war right now.
We are.
And you Christians got to rise up. You know, and once again, it's Toto's armyofpatriots.com. We'll put that up on the screen here in a second. And obviously in the replay in the article we'll publish from this, it's in there. So let's talk about this. The difference of how God led you with this exemption form for you, Toto. What the little tweaking was that you believe is why it's produced such tremendous results.
So there's a law in the an employer has a legal standing if you come to him with a verifiably proven false statement. They can go to court and they can show the judge that we have facts here. Let me make it simpler. Most everyone that tried to do the religious exemption, they tried to use fetal cells. Okay? So they tried to use the argument that because it come from aborted fetal cells, that it was against their conscience. Well, that's a shaky argument because of the simple fact there is data which proves that they don't technically come from fetal cells, and that's not the point of this discussion. But what I'm telling you, an employer can show a judge these statements from the FDA that it's not from fetal cells, and therefore the employer then would be protected. All right. So we didn't mention anything about. Are you still with me, John?
Yeah, I am. I just
went
wider so we can have that on the bottom of the screen.
That's fine. So we didn't go from that angle. We never used the fetal cell thing because here's why. I knew that even Tylenol comes from strains of aborted fetal cells. Okay?
Wow.
And I knew that the enemy knew this. And sure enough, they came back with that argument in the letters. Have you ever taken Tylenol? So anyone that went that route, and of course the Pope didn't help things by saying that he was in favor of the vaccine, because now all of my Catholic friends, they knock their feet out from under them and say, well, the Pope said you could take it. We came at it from an angle. In our particular faith, we believe that our body is the temple of the Holy Spirit. And I listed all the scriptural verses to where if you're asking me to put something in my body that I do not know whether it's going to damage my body or not, and at this point, we don't have enough studies, we don't have enough clinical trials, we don't have those 8 years to prove that this is a safe product.
Now let me interject there, Professor Toto.
Yes.
You know, we've had on my show, I just had Karen Kingston on last night, you know, the ex-Pfizer employee, biotech analyst, unbelievably anointed woman of God.
Amazing show, by the way. Yes.
I mean, Karen guys, you got to listen to that. It's 2.5 hours. I've had Dr. Elizabeth Eads on 7 times, a couple times about the vaccine. I had Dr. Christopher Kremensky on a couple times about the vaccine, because for me, and from day one, it's a biochemical warfare against us. It's a communist tool to control. It's a pure control factor. That was the ultimate goal. You know, one of my original shows, right when they started this China virus stuff, I said, ultimately, they're going to go for a communist control of a passport for a medication device for this. And now it's where it come from. So God has given you such a gift, Toto, on this. Professor Toto, the puppy has come live. And for those of you, here is the actual
behind the curtain.
That's right. And let's just show a little bit of the army of patriots right here. This is a little Toto. Toto right here. He's awesome. Here it is. Let me drop it in the screen there.
I love Toto.
There it is.
Oh,
Look, who's that?
yes. There he is. Look, he's bearing the breastplate of righteousness. Oh, yeah.
Explain what that explains. That's Toto and Toto's Army of Patriots. You see
Sure.
pulling back the
Taps
curtain.
America. So, taps, John, is played at the end of the day or at a funeral. And so we're declaring the death of conservative complacency.
Oh, yeah. 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 We're moving to tops here in a few minutes, but but explain what you have on Toto. Explain what's leaning on his leg
So this is, if you look under his feet, of course, there's the trumpet. That's the taps trumpet, which is it's the sound of the end of complacency. But under his feet, John, is the yellow brick road. All right. So he is leading all of the people that drunk the Kool-Aid out of the land of Oz. He's bringing them back down the yellow brick road. And look what he's bringing them to, the flag in his background. He's bringing them to the republic, bringing them out of democracy to the republic. And so he's leading an army is what he's doing. And he's girt about with the breastplate of truth and righteousness. Awesome. And so he's leading an army in truth, leading them out of the land of Oz, which I call the land of liberalism.
It's powerful. So Toto's army. It's on.
Amen.
I think that's phenomenal. I mean, that's God. I mean, a year ago, there was no Professor Toto.
No.
Let that sink in, guys. People go, in the next year, what's going to happen? There was no Professor Toto. There was Pastor Shane Vaughn. There was Shane Vaughn, but inside
that nobody wanted to listen to, by the way.
Yeah, which I know this is your second time on my show, second of many more to come.
Thank you.
A year ago, you had what, 20, 30 viewers on.
If I was lucky, if it hit 100, it was time to go out and get a steak dinner and celebrate. Yeah.
But that was God testing you.
John, that's all it was. It was the training ground. Here's something I've learned in my life, John. When God can trust you with a little, and when I say trust, many people think that, and of course, I won't bring it too religious. I don't know your audience that well.
Go all the way. Go all in deep. I mean, we're going all in.
Many people do not understand that God tests men. Their character is developed when no one is watching.
That's right.
That's when their character is developed. When you can be faithful to your calling, and I don't care how insignificant that calling is, because let me tell you what God did with my channel, First Harvest Ministries. For 7 years, I built that channel. Right at 8 years, I built that channel. And you would have thought I was an internet sensation, John. I bought the best cameras. I bought the best Canon equipment. You would have thought I was on TBN, okay? All right? You would have thought I was on the 700 Club with Pat Robertson right beside me. In other words, the Bible says anything you do for God, do it with all your might. And the Bible said when you find something to do, put your hand to it and do it with everything you've got. I did that for 7 years, nobody listening. But I put up over 1,000 teaching videos. And I didn't know why. I had no idea why. But John, you cannot open a restaurant until you have an inventory.
There you go. That's
and
right.
God had me to build that inventory so that when the people begin to come, because I'll tell you something, we have so many now on our Saturday morning Bible studies that come from the political side of things, that they came and they found food for their soul that they were looking for. What if it wouldn't have been there? What if that would have been a dead channel and all it was about was January the 6th? Then there would be no food there to feed the people. So just want to encourage everyone that's watching me. When God gives you something to do, I don't care if you're pastoring a church. There were many times I went to my church on Friday nights before people began visiting from all over the nation. I would go there with 2 people. I can show you the video. It's on my YouTube channel.
Hmm.
And the name of that video is The Gods of This World. And when I preached that message, there was 2 people in my audience on that sermon. And so, but now they visit from everywhere, John. So be faithful. Do what God's called you to do.
That's right. It's amazing too. We got awesome audio connection. But as soon as you started going deep in the word, your video locked up. But I hear you perfectly. I hear you perfectly.
Well, good, as long as you heard me. The word's all that matters.
Oh yeah, no, the word is the key. So for those of you saying if you see, because he's traveling, he's in Oklahoma, he's not in his home studio.
My apologies.
Yeah, did you want to, Pastor Shane? You want to pop in and pop out, because I could potentially reset the video.
Can you not see my video now?
It's just frozen. It's frozen. You're frozen solid with your Toto hand.
All right, I'll pop out, pop right back in.
You're awesome. I tell you, when you listen to that, for all of you listening, you talk about being faithful and staying consistent. And when Professor Toto was doing those videos for 7 years, and there was no people watching, God was testing him for that season, for that journey. And that's what we're on. We're on that journey, so that season was very powerful. There we are. We're back, young man.
All right, good.
look at all, it's perfect.
Hey, speaking of Oklahoma, John, if you don't mind, if any of your people are in Tulsa area, I'm doing a certification tomorrow. We have a new thing. I wish I had the thing here to show you. It's called you got patriots, then you got certified patriots. Well, when you come to the Conservative College, one of our seminars, we certify you after 6 hours of training that you are now a certified patriot with TAPS International or TAPS America. And so tomorrow I'll be here free of charge. There's no charge. If anybody's in the area, they want to know the Constitution better, they want to understand the republic versus the democracy. Matter of fact, I thought about you. We need to add a capitalism course to these seminars and get them certified in capitalism.
That's right.
And so I'm going to be talking to you about that. So if they're in Tulsa, I'll be at the Southside Assembly of God tomorrow from 1 to 6, and then Sunday morning at 10 o'clock. We'd love to have you free of charge.
And guys, any questions, once again, you can call or text us, and we'll connect you with Pastor Shane and Professor Toto. You call or text 561-847-3467 or email team, TEAM, team at conservativebusinessjournal.com. And it's, the deadliest disease right now from China is communism, and the number one protection from that is capitalism. God's talent being manifested, spirit of excellence, working hard. It was a privilege to be teaching to do 4 workshops at your retreat, which is tremendous, in Guntersville, Alabama. And before we move into the TAPS program, I have to show a video that just shows the professor here. I believe this was at your event, right at the conclusion of your event. I have my professor glasses on, so I want to see my brother, Professor Toto, and this is going to be Professor Dilemma. I got his tie on, got the bell, and I got the Bible.
I love that. Look at you with your bad self. I love it.
Professor
I hear my wife.
I love it. Look at you. Come on. That is amazing, brother.
Oh, God, I love it.
I love it. We just swapping his eyes, huh? I got the look, too.
bruh.
But there's a picture of 2 professors, two conservative
there they
teachers.
are. I love it, man. That was a great, I'm still getting people talking about your classes. They were just so blessed by it. I appreciate y'all for coming. I know it took a lot out. And, John, I don't know if a lot of people know this or not, and I'm just going to put it out there for everybody. I don't know if they know that me and you don't get paid for none of this.
No, we're not paid speakers, and paid speakers to me are not. I'm not one that agrees with paying speakers. I believe God will bless you through your business vehicles you do have.
Sure.
You have your business vehicles. We have our conservative store, our marketplace. I do some independent consulting, and then obviously we have some events we do. But it's important. We got to get the voices out.
Just get the voice out, get the message out. And you know what I have found? God touches the hearts of the people.
That's right.
And they make sure we get to eat before we go.
Because that's Jehovah Jireh. I mean, God is a provider. I mean, I believe, and
Yes.
talk about capitalism. I believe, Professor Toto, that I want to move into TAPS here. I believe between 2021 and 2026, the next 5 years, the next 60 months, God's going to anoint some of the greatest entrepreneur vision in American history through Christian
Yes.
conservatives who are tithers and are believers and are sowing into God's kingdom, because the wealth is there, the ideas are there, the innovation is there. Which at your workshop, I talked about socialism versus communism. I mean, excuse me, communism versus capitalism. And I said under communism, the worst effect is there's no choices because God's talents are suffocated.
Right.
They're killed. And as you invent and you innovate and you provide spirit of excellence, you serve people, then you have an opportunity to earn income, the right, service. Jesus was the ultimate servant, and
Yes.
business is about service. You only earn income after you serve someone with excellence and expertise. And then the law of reciprocity, they want to reciprocate through purchasing your product because you value them in communication. It's real
Right.
deep, and it's all biblical. I mean, that's the exciting part
That's right.
about communism versus capitalism. But we look good in that picture. I have my Toto glasses on. We have
Oh,
the
I
glasses
loved it.
on.
That was a moment. I can't wait till next year.
It's gonna be, and the next year, your event next year, Toto's. What's the dates? And they can see that once again on Toto's
Yeah.
Army of Patriots.
Yep. October the 5th through the 9th. And I'll tell you what I'll do, John. Here's what I'll do for your people right now. If anybody wants to register, October the 5th through the 9th, John will be there as one of our speakers, many others. But if they'll go to totosretreat.com and register, if they'll use this code word, which I didn't have time to get you one, so I'm going to give them a super secret code word. It is the code word Sabbath, Sabbath.
All right.
That's $125 off the $199 registration fee. So they could go for about $75 per adult if they use that code.
Sabbath.
All children are free.
Tremendous event. So looking forward to being back there. And this is actually, I have another picture there that when I looked out that window, I took this from our workshop window, and I said, this is God's country, and there's no question.
Yes, it is. But look at that. Oh my word.
I mean,
wow.
How is Nancy Pelosi going to try to
beautiful?
steal that? How is Pelosi, Biden, and Harris going to try to steal that?
Right? Does
Right?
it get
Let's
any more beautiful than that.
Let's be realistic. That's God's creation. That's God had a vision. He took his
Yes.
capital of vision, created. That's gorgeous. And if you don't believe in God, you got a full-blooded Italian who's from New York originally, lives
Come
in
on.
Florida now, in Guntsville, Alabama, hugging on my man Professor Toto and his wife Karen, just taking ownership of that piano, just owning that. It's just tremendous.
She is.
It's just
Yes.
just tremendous. Now the other big issue we have in America right now, and I want to move into the into TAPS, and I want to move
Yes.
into, talk about how to combat the evils of the liberal agenda upon our beloved America is to replace politicians with patriots. So guys, we're going to move into this section. I want you can take a look at tapsamerica.com. You'll see us promote that big time. Tapsamerica.com. Any questions? We'll take questions, not live on a show, but any questions, you guys could always call or text us or email us. But so Professor Toto, give us a vision of how I remember when you first talked to me on this, I said, this is the answer. Share with everyone,
Amen.
tapsamerica.com, your vision of TAPS America and how we're going to replace politicians with patriots.
Amen. And I thought the way you led in a while ago about the God giving ideas right now to transfer the wealth, that's exactly what he did in my mind about a year ago. So thank you, John, for letting me talk about TAPS. TAPS is a noise. It's a sound that's played at the funeral of dead soldiers, those that have died, or at the end of the day. And so I thought, we have a problem in this nation. It's called complacency. Many patriots don't understand that patriot is not a noun, it's a verb.
That's right.
It's an action. And any time that we patriots make up our mind to do something, go ask the owners of the ships in the Boston Harbor. We get it done. But the problem is making up our minds. We created TAPS to create a community where those that follow Professor Toto, those that follow John DeLemme, Brad Barton, on and on and on, could all coalesce together and form a community. A community with an app that is being developed. Talked to him, I think, day before yesterday. We're this close.
It's awesome.
A place to where everyone that's a member, now this is a club. We're creating a community, a club for everyone to join at tapsamerica.com. When you join it, you will get the app. You can download it as soon as it's ready. Every single day, we're going to move you over to whatever state you're a part of. And we're going to put you in what's called a pod. All right. It's a resource development center where all the people in that state will have a captain over that pod with many assistants. And their job will be to send out notifications. Every morning, they'll send a notification to you. It'll tell you what little sneaky legislation is trying to sneak through without you knowing about it. It will tell you of an upcoming protest in your state, a rally, maybe where John DeLemme is going to be speaking in your state, or Professor Toto, or any of our great podcasters. It's going to notify you when you need to go to work. You're going to get a notification, call Senator whomever, referring bill number such and such. And all of a sudden, our goal is 100,000 members in our first year, which we're already right at 4,000. We've not even launched yet. So we'll be at 10,000, I believe, by the end of the week next week. All those people will go to the phones. They become an army. TAPS is an army of patriots, the army of patriots. They go to their phones. They go to their emails. They now have organization that they did not have before. But there's something else that this app is going to do, John. You and I are hamstrung by the mainstream media. They kill our voice. You are the godfather of that. Yeah. Banned for life on YouTube. And yet, as much as we hate to admit it, we need those platforms because of one thing, not because we like them, not because we believe in them, but they have a system called notifications, live notifications. And that brings in the audience so that our voice has an effect. This app will become the replacement for YouTube for us that needs a notification system. So now those that have the app on your phone, when John DeLemme goes live at night, he'll be able to log into the back office, push a notification, and alert all of the TAPS members that he's live. And now, instead of all of us podcasters doing our own thing, we are literally bringing together. See, that's what the enemy doesn't want, our coming together and uniting our voices. So this is what we're attempting to do. Number two, our podcasters are the last bastion of hope.
I agree.
For America. And this is a fact. You know, we got Glenn Beck on television. He's really the last of a dying breed. Tucker Carlson, whatever good still left with him. We've lost Rush. We're the last of the Mohicans, if you will.
Oh yeah, and they're out there. There's more of us than them, Professor Toto.
Oh,
it's like I was interviewed earlier today in a radio show, and I said, as you travel the country, and I mentioned Alabama, and I'll see you again in South Carolina. You'll be at our event here in Naples, Florida, January 7th and 8th. We the People Fight Back event. I'm excited for you to do a whole TAP presentation there too.
My wife has never been to Naples.
Oh, Naples they're gonna love Toto in Naples, right? Yeah. They're gonna love Toto in Naples, and it's you know it's so important for all of you to realize that they know how to control the voice. That's why they're trying to shut us down. And I appreciate all of you on our email list, following us on Telegram. You know, my Telegram channel is CBJ Real News. Our Rumble channel is CBJ Real News. But the challenge is the push notification. You don't get the live notification. And then the ability and when you guys visit tapsamerica.com, it's only then to join, it's only $20 a month, and share with everyone. where the finances go to, like great
Yeah,
candidates like
that's
Candace
the
Taylor.
most exciting part.
Yeah.
Have you interviewed? I don't know. Have you had Christina Caramo?
Oh yeah, she's the reason why. When I see, matter of fact, here's the picture. I put the picture of
Okay.
Christine and I had Christine on my Biden scam series. When she was on, we had 18,000 people live. We were talking at your event about that. Because
Yes.
she knows some people, when I get the trolls and go, oh, you only have a certain amount of people on. I'm like, you're a moron. I can show you screenshots before the devil came after. The devil is so scared of my voice. And obviously we distribute this to our podcast platforms or our email list, and we get tens of thousands of replays, especially this tap section we're going to utilize to educate people. But here's a picture of me and Christine right there that we took at your event.
Okay, there you go. I love that woman so much.
I mean, we saw her just to mention real quick, and I'll let you continue, Toto.
Yeah.
We saw her in Hannity, which is a very controlled voice. Hannity, as you know, is a very controlled voice on Fox. They're all controlled on Fox. And what happened was I heard her for like 5 minutes or 3 minutes in the front seat of a car giving her testimony about Michigan and the fraud. We reached out to her. She was on my show an hour and 22 minutes. We had 18,000 people live. Her YouTube video got 1.4 million views, Toto.
That's amazing, John. Thank
you talk about them suffocating. And that was monetized YouTube videos. So let's do the math on it, because we run a business. I'm a for-profit business.
Absolutely.
But they're so scared. And now President Trump endorsed Christina in Michigan as Secretary of State. Now, so share how the funds work then in TAPS.
I'm so excited about this part, because to me, this is why I created it, why we created it. So Christina Caramo, we need her as Secretary of State in Michigan. We need Blackstone as governor in Ohio. I could go down the list. We need Candace Taylor in Georgia. We need true patriots, okay? John, we have the best candidates. Our candidates can actually get up and they have a message. They literally are able to articulate a message, whereas the other candidates, they just play the game.
That's right.
But the problem with our candidates is always money. Right. Always, okay? Christina Caramo needs a minimum of $60,000 a month just to stay viable, not even to shoot out there, but just to stay in the race, to stay viable. She's collecting, I believe, about $20,000 a month right now. All right. So I thought to myself, what can we do to create the money that these candidates need? We've got it. Those people watching me right now, they got it. I've got it. We got the money.
That's right.
We don't have the place that we trust to send that money. And let's talk about that. I've donated to Donald Trump, I can't tell you how many times in the last 2 or 3 years.
Sure.
And now every day I get these texts that says, do you not love Donald Trump anymore? Are you no longer on the Trump team? Because I don't know where my money's going. I don't even know if that's Team Trump. I don't know. Okay. So I've held my money back. Now, with that said, if we had a community that got a monthly newsletter every single month from the Secretary Treasurer of TAPS, and in that newsletter, there was a graph showing the amount of money that we have all pooled our resources together, and no one being able to touch those funds except the Board of Accountability of 7 businessmen and women. No funds will be released and no funds will be touched without that board approving it. The only thing that would come out of that besides money to candidates would be expenses, whatever that is, to send out the newsletters, mail, do the organization, and pay for advertising. After that, every dime goes straight to these candidates, John. And so let's just do the math.
And this is also for those, somebody asks, how do I join? You guys go to tapsamerica.com, tapsamerica.com. You see it there on the screen. Then when you say, how'd you hear about us? Yep. Just click on John Delemy as you heard through John Delemy, tapsamerica.com. And yes, you can share with other patriots, only $20 a month. I mean, $20 a month. That's, give up one dinner, one lunch for the patriots.
And do the math.
I mean,
Do the
this
math,
is so
John.
important because we get it. How aggravated do I get, Christy, when I get all these wannabe politicians on my show?
Yeah.
I've had Candace Taylor on. I love Candace. I mean, Vernon to me is Vernon's Jones is a disgrace. I mean, Vernon Jones. We
Sad.
know. I said it from the beginning. And you got Candace Taylor, who's a lovely young lady. Jesus, guns, and babies. I mean,
Yes.
morality over money.
Yes.
Candace is awesome.
She's
And
phenomenal.
you got Christina, and all of you realize that that's the problem. That's how they control us with the money. So TAPS is going to be one of those, Pastor Shane, between 2021 and 2026, 5 years.
Yeah.
You're going to have the greatest evolution, innovation. And if God gave you an idea, he gave you wisdom, and then you implement that. So tapsamerica.com, it is so, so important. And guys,
Think
we go
about
there,
the-
click
think-
and roll. Good.
No, just think about the math, John. I want your people. The reason I say this thing in my ears telling me, charge me, charge me, charge me. So I don't want to lose you. Do the math. 100,000 patriots. By the way, Brad Barton got so mad at me when I said 100,000. He was like, "You're too small-minded."
Yep, I agree. I mean,
And you were
I
right
believe we
there
can
with
hit
it.
10. I believe we can hit 10 million. We could hit
That's
10
what he
million.
believes. That's what he believes. And just do the math. 100,000. If that's all we ever hit, that's $2 million every single month that goes under lock and key. It is held and it is released by the vote of the membership of TAPS in the newsletter. They will see which candidates we are nominating for them to support. They can nominate candidates for the board to consider, whatever that, and then they vote at the, I tell you, I'm so excited. Here's why I'm so excited. We've not even launched yet. I've not even announced it on my show yet. We have not launched, and we are 4,000 members strong in less than 3 weeks' time, John. That, by the way, that's money that is sitting right now in an account waiting to go to the next Candace Taylor, the next Christina Carrama, whoever, whatever.
And it's important what you just said is that the TAPS members, you'll give them basically a choice of these are the candidates that we believe are in our, like I know someone here in Florida who is a phenomenal candidate, doesn't have a chance in a lifetime with the money down here.
Sure.
And so we put him as part of the pot in Florida on the list, and the fellow, and I know Lorene, I know Jen, I know all of you will join. So you then choose, okay, I as a contributor choose it when whoever chooses it according to the members of TAPS, and that candidate will get the money sent to them, and it's all black and white verifiable, and it's all documented. This is a Professor Toto, this is a God gave you a huge vision.
Thank you, Father.
It's so powerful. Understand this, because and that's why we're going to keep using this video to send out to people. So yes, the members of TAPS chooses the candidates, and let's say your candidate doesn't get choice. It's the majority of people who vote of the members like yourself will choose it. Actually, and there's no voter fraud. There's no Dominion machines. It's every vote counts.
John, we will have several different boards. The main board will be accountability. They'll control the money. They'll protect the money. But we're going to also have a board that is politically astute, and they will take all the nominations. For example, if someone nominates Uncle Joe Blow that has no chance, and you know what, he can't even, whatever, it's not going to happen, that board will take those nominations. Has he been nominated by President Trump like Christina Carramo? Does he have? Then they will slim that down, and that will be released to the membership for their approval to release however many funds we feel like that candidate needs to be viable.
And it's a real simple but powerful process. It's kind of like when Uber, even though it's a liberal company, but Uber disrupted transportation.
Oh yes,
this is going to disrupt the distribution of wealth for the political campaigning process, because it's all marketing. And to talk about, I have a whole section of my book. I'll talk about how to market effectively. It's all marketing.
John, there's another part to this that we cannot forget. If you have a PAC, which we're in creating it as we speak. If you have a PAC, you are not able to give money directly to the candidate. So what you have to do, you can allocate funds to their campaign for advertising, for this, for that. Our main reason for raising this money is to get them on television, to get yards in the signs in the yards, to get T-shirts on everybody's back, to get them what they need. And guess what, John? There are many patriots watching right now that make those things
Sure.
that these candidates are going to need. I hope somebody's picking up what I'm putting down.
Oh, yeah.
So the money's not going, we're not writing checks out to candidates. In other words, we can't. A PAC, you can't do that. So, but what we're doing is we're going to spread that wealth. If we've got people in here that make buttons, we're going to need somebody to make buttons. So
That's right.
it's an entire.
And then somebody just asked Professor Toto about will it be in every state? Just explain the pods again.
So the pods will be in every state. In other words, let's just say right now you've got somebody watching that lives in California and they go enroll in TAPS. Once the app is ready, it will dig through the data on the spreadsheet. All California people will be sucked out, placed in a pod. Okay. And now that's your new family. You're going to have a chat group. That's your people. Okay. Y'all are going to become bosom buddies in your state. Y'all are going to become road warriors, go into events together, go into protests together. So, and that's going to be your people.
And then, guys, just look at how this evolved. This is the first time Professor Toto's on my show about it, and we'll be doing a big explanation at our event coming up in January. Talk about 2022, January 7th, January 8th, our We the People Fight Back event. Professor Toto is one of our keynote featured speakers. And guys, make sure those of you Toto's Army. Make sure those of you Toto's Army, when you visit wethepeoplefightbackevent.com, wethepeoplefightbackevent.com, our ticket for our 2-day event, which is, includes a 5-star lunch, training program, swag bag, surprise bonuses, a full VIP dinner, entertainment. It's a unbelievable event, as you know. You guys, just go to wethepeoplefightbackevent.com, and when you invest in your tickets, use the code TOTO, and you get an instant $100 off. It goes from $397 to $297 because we want the best of the best. We want Toto's Army there. So
we're going to get them there.
Fightbackevent.com. Put the code Toto. Be here January 6th because 2022 is all you hear. That's why we chose to do it the first weekend of 22 because we have to launch into the year. And at that event, you'll do a full explanation, Professor Toto, about TAPS. And by then, it's going to
love that.
It's going to explode.
Yeah, guys, it is.
And for those of you visiting TAPS, once again, you go to tapsamerica.com. I mean, this is a no-brainer. You're hearing this. You're in a voice shot. Go there, tapsamerica.com. Share it with 10, 15, 20 people. You click enroll. How'd you hear about us? Choose John Delemy. It's only $20 a month. It is so important. It is so important. Christopher said, so how can we get people noticed if they're not known for candidates? It's a great question, Christopher.
Okay, yeah, it is a great question. So there will, like I said, there'll be a board. I don't know what the name of that board's going to be yet, but you will nominate through the app. There will be nominate your candidate. That'll be one of the choices. That will go to, to that board. They will go through them. They may contact you to say, who is this guy? Let's send him, let's do a Zoom with him. Everybody will have to be interviewed. They will have to ask who the legitimate president of the United States is. They will have to answer that correctly.
Say it again. See what you said?
Yeah.
Because who's the legitimate president of the United States?
Yeah, they have to answer that question correctly.
Trump won the election. Forensic audit of the election.
Bottom line.
This is why this is the Patriot. This is we the people fight back. There's more of us than them.
Absolutely.
There's more of guys. You'll have candidates knocking down our door to get involved in this.
Oh, unless they're just an outright liar, which we'll find out if they are. But that's one of the questions straight up front. Was the election stolen from Donald Trump? If they hesitate, if they act like they've got to think about it, they're not our people. That's the bottom line.
You mean like Fox News? I mean, Fox News, Fox News hesitates about that and hesitates about the vaccine. This is media disruption. And we are the next 5 years, we're disrupting the media.
Absolutely.
And we're disrupting the political ability for people to raise funds. God's resources are going to be distributed. The wealth of the wicked is laid up for the just. We're going to receive it through tapsamerica.com. Click enroll. And how'd you hear about us, John Delemy? And share this, guys. This is, you hear my passion. I've been kind of buckled down listening to you, Toto. It's a war for the money.
It's a
out
war
there right now.
Donald Trump's war chest right now, the reason he's not announced his candidacy, he would lose access to $105 million, okay? That's in his super PAC. Here's what everybody needs to understand. He's got $100 million. That's considered the largest war chest in America right now. I want you to look at these little Davids, me and you, little Davids, with $5 million a month. And I know we're going to get there. Multiply that times 10. That puts us at almost the size of Donald Trump's war chest, the largest war chest in the nation. We can do this. And when you get to that point, John, you're no longer a bunch of talkers. You are kingmakers. You are, most people don't know this, John. Ronald Reagan and the entire Reaganomic period, what happened? Do you know why it happened? Because of something called the 700 Club.
I know.
The conservative Christian, what did they call that movement? The Christian. Anyway, that's what brought Reagan into office. Yep. It was conservatives that joined a little club, paying, I think, $700 a year into that.
Yep.
And that brought Ronald Reagan.
And Christopher, yes, you can join now. You can join now on tapsamerica.com. Yes, you can, Chris. And it's only $20 a month. As you know, when I spoke at your event, I believe there should be a paid in full option for a year, because
they can do that. When they go right now, by the way, John, let me say this because we're having some problems here. There's an option, and we don't know how to get it off, to pay one time $20 or monthly. If they choose one time, they are not a member of TAPS. This is not a one time,
not at all.
Unless it's for the year. Now, if it's, what is 12 times 10? If it's one, whatever that comes to, then you would be a member. Your gift would have to get at least $20 a month, or you're not a member. You just made a donation to the fund. We appreciate it, but you would not have a right to vote. You wouldn't get a newsletter. You wouldn't be part of the economy of what we're doing. So make sure they choose monthly option.
I mean, it's powerful when you look at just $20 a month, what you receive in a newsletter, the ability to really be actively involved in a political process of America, of the Republic.
Yes.
I mean, you have an opportunity in your pod to choose. I know here in Florida and the states we have heavy influence in, we'll do a lot of TAP events, TAPS America events among fellow patriots who have the same values as us, have the same values as I had someone who wanted to be my show, and I said, I want to have you on because you say the word president and you say the B word next to it. How do you say that? I won't have you in my show. He's not the president. He did not win.
He's the resident.
I mean, he's a resident and he's a criminal. And right now it's all out active war. I mean, what they're doing with the supply chain, what they're doing with law enforcement, people walking with calculators, walking into retail stores under $1,000, and they can't touch them. It's a disgrace. But I want to stay focused on tapsamerica.com. You guys can just click and roll. And under how did you hear about us? Choose John Delemy. And guys, again,
John, you're getting a question here that I'm fixing to lose you. I'm going to have to slip out, but it comes from Karen. She said, I had to get offline, but did you all address the board of directors question? I never saw a question about the board of directors, John.
Who would be on the board?
Yeah, she wants to know who would be on the board. That would go through. You want to answer that, or I can get?
Yeah, I'll be happy to. So the board of accountability, that's the people that control the money. That will be 7 business owners, business-minded people, women or men, and they will at first be not. The only reason we have to do it this way at the first, because we've not had a business meeting yet. Our first business meeting with TAPS will be at next year's TAPS event in October. So at first, they will be nominated by the podcasters, people that we've trusted, that we've seen them in business. Every podcaster, which right now we've got 7 of us, I believe, are close to it, will nominate. Those people will serve on the board until next year's business meeting. At that time, then the whole membership will vote to keep them on the board or not to keep them on the board.
Sure.
So that's how it'll work.
And guys, once again, tapsamerica.com. It's tremendous. And you just click and roll, read about it, share about it. I like the push notification. I like the pod, the community, the like-minded values. And it's only $20 a month. And,
Yes.
and it's so powerful. So important. So important. And this is just another evolution. Guys, once again, a year ago, there was no Professor Toto.
No.
It began a year ago. I wasn't banned. A year ago, I had over 1 million subscribers on my YouTube channel.
Wow. A million subscribers, John. Wow.
I mean, we were four. This is not a game. I was interviewed this afternoon in a radio show. I said, we run a conservative business journal. It's a for-profit business. We have employees.
Right.
We have, we do offline media. This is what we do. It's a business. It's not a game. And they want to shut us down and shut this voice down and mute us because they're afraid of the truth. And Taps America is going right after the foundation is the money. You get,
yes.
I believe, like Brad, I believe we can have 10 million people in.
Yes.
I mean, I know. And once again, guys, make sure if you don't have your ticket yet to the We the People Fight Back event, January 7th, January 8th, you guys can use the code Toto and you will receive an instant $100 off. It's $397 for our 2-day event, ultra all-inclusive. Every ticket's a VIP ticket at our event. And you guys will be able to secure a ticket to see Toto, to see Brad Barton and others, Tom Homan and others. And Karen Kingston confirmed. Karen Kingston will be there.
Excellent.
Yeah, we talked to Karen today. Dr. Betsy, Dr. Krista. And you'll like meeting Pastor Stacy Shiflett. He was a pastor from Maryland who ripped. He's got to be on your show.
Okay.
He ripped up his cease and desist order and never closed his church.
That's my kind of preacher right there.
And he goes, we're going to do it God's way.
I love it.
It went,
John, let me tell you and your people, I have to run. I have another 8:30 appointment.
Okay, but go over.
But please know this, sir. I can't wait to see you in South Carolina. We're going to have a great time. Hope all your people are there. And then Naples, Florida, we're going to rip it, tear it. It's going to be wonderful. And I appreciate the invitation to come tonight. If any of your people have any questions that you can't answer, they can email brothervon@gmail.com, and I will get back to them as soon as possible. And then I love you guys.
And then I'll see you too in Frederick, Maryland at Francine.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be so fun. I can't wait.
God bless you, brother. You're awesome.
All right.
Thank you, Toto. Now that's powerful, right, Christy? Yep. I mean, guys, that is such a phenomenal movement. Taps America. When Professor Toto brought that to me, I was like, this just makes so much sense because we know, we see the political swamp. I mean, we see how they stole the election. So it's so important. So it's a powerful process. And I appreciate all of you that are on the show tonight and sharing and liking. Make sure you guys do follow us on Telegram. Make sure you at CBJ Real News. Make sure you follow us on Rumble at CBJ Real News. And I appreciate all of you guys commenting, sharing. Christy, but what about that though? I mean, the system, the pods, the nomination of the independent candidates. So we get 4,000 postcards here to our studio. We're able to nominate real candidates, then we choose. And then when this is going to be, one of the worst enemies for the radical left. So it's so important. Yes, and you guys got a surprise bonus tonight. We the People Fight Back event in January 7th, January 8th. Professor Toto will be live. You guys can take $100 off your all-inclusive ticket. And you can just go to WeThePeopleFightBackEvent.com. Use the promo code Toto. And our events always sell out. Right. There's no question about that. So we're excited about that. It was a great show. Had a great day. I was interviewed today in a radio show, which is going to air next week. And I'll be on it with General Flynn and Mike Lindell. So, make sure you guys share the episode. Follow us on Telegram at CBJ Real News. Follow us on Rumble at CBJ Real News. And I want to thank all of you for supporting us through. We've had some record-breaking days with the store, theconservativemarketplace.com. I'm actually updating my bio to say that I'm the founder of conservativemarketplace.com, conservativemarketplace.com. And there's just an amazing array of products and services from fellow patriots. I want to show the commercial real quick here, and then we'll wrap it up. Guys, conservativemarketplace.com. Review it, take a look at it. I want to give this is awesome. Our conservative business journal swagwear is, I love this. I got this in today, my long sleeve shirt. I'll be working out in this. I like to sweat when I work out. Conservative business journal, real news, guys. Real news for the American people. That's what it's about. Real news for the American people. It's awesome. You are very welcome, Elizabeth. You're very welcome, Janet. And so make sure all of you guys go to tapsamerica.com, enroll. Let me know you enrolled. Just shoot us a quick email, shoot us a quick text. You guys are awesome. Tapsamerica.com and click enroll. How'd you hear about us? How'd you hear about it? It's just obviously my name, John DeLemme. It's about because it's going to be such a movement because there's such an attack on the political process here in America. So any final points for tonight's show?
Nope.
Professor Toto is tremendous. Explosion. So let me recap. Tapsamerica.com. You guys can go there, share it. Click and roll. If it's only $20 a month, and the newsletter's gonna be awesome. The app's gonna be tremendous, and then surprise bonus. You guys can. It's gonna sell out, and we're way ahead of January 7th, January 8th, 2022. Make sure you're there. See Professor Toto, Pastor Stacy Shiflett, Dr. Betsy, Dr. Chris, Dr. Paul Williams, Alan and Francine Fosdick, Tom Homan, Brad Barton. It's gonna be tremendous, right? And Sabine, or Angel Fam, Angel Mom, as you know, Dr. Linda Lee Tarver, Keith and Dominique, and Jeff Preston, and Frank Valentine. So visit WeThePeopleFightBackEvent.com. Regularly $397. Use the code TOTO, and you'll receive $100 off, because I know many of Toto's army will be listening to this. And so Toto's, you just use the code TOTO, and you receive $100 off. And all of you know that we are famous for our events. We have 28-page training program. It's set up classroom style. The food is tremendous. It's phenomenal.
Karen Kingston will be speaking.
And Karen Kingston, former Pfizer employee and biotech analyst, who was on our show for 2.5 hours last night. Make sure you watch the replay on that. You can find all the replays at our website, conservativebusinessjournal.com. Under it says podcast, then you see library of episodes, and they're all in alphabetical order. And you'll also see, since this is time sensitive, it's published on our homepage, conservativebusinessjournal.com. And it's absolutely tremendous. And guys, I appreciate you patronizing. We got a new hat under conservativemarketplace.com. We have impeach Biden hats. We have our red line hats that promote the first responders in the fire department. We have our thin blue line hats, promotes obviously law enforcement. We have Dr. Artis' supplements. We have Dr. Christis supplements. We have great cosmetics and soaps from Latasha that are in there. We have great patriotic pins and hats, all of my books. Guys, please share the Conservative Marketplace. Please shop there. Our quotes, our number one seller is these two right here. The faith stands and fear runs 11/14 quote, and our freedom quote, which says the United States Constitution gives me the right to live free, protect my family, and serve my God. Surrendering my rights is not an option. That's all available in conservativemarketplace.com, or when you'll see in conservativebusinessjournal.com, you'll see the icon store. So share it. Appreciate you guys. God bless you. Thank you for following on Rumble at CBJ Real News, and make sure you follow. And for the troll going off on the stuff, the trolls are just.
Don't worry, I'm just waiting for him to share his number because he has so much to say.
I mean, just give me your number, man. I'm so tired of the troll. I'm so tired of weak, coward people. I'm so sick and tired. Let me tell you something, guys. Let me tell you something. I'm 56 years young. I've been in this game a long time. I'm not some 20-year-old kid playing games in a smartphone or keyboard warrior. I'm live. I'm speaking every week around this country. They took $1 million business from us. Do some research. And for the troll thinking, oh, well, he's got no viewers on this show. All right, big mouth. All right, big friggin' mouth. Big mouth. All right, let me show you. If they're so scared, this is the actual, is it here? I'm trying to see where the clip is here. It shows the 137,000 viewers on. Let me see if that's in. I think you put that in a photo album, correct, Christy? that would be in the album, right? Let me look here because I just have to show the troll here because the trolls think they know everything and they know nothing. So let's see here. I don't see it in there.
What is it?
It's the one where you circled 137,000 views.
It should be there. Let me see if I have it on my phone.
Here it is, right here. I have the 48,000 views. So let me just show the Facebook one since there's 30, 40 people on Facebook. So here's before, and I got interviewed by Gary today. I talked about that because Gary was on my shows with that amount of views. So for all the trolls, here is before they got scared, and this is what we would have on our show here, and you can see that is 48,000 views. The red circle says 48,000 views when I was live versus 20. So what are you so scared of, Zuckerberg? I mean, what are you so scared of? Crazy, is it, right? I have 106,000 followers on Facebook and 20 people see I'm live. But you could be a rapist, you could be a terrorist, you could be a BLM protester, you could be out there spitting on cops and they won't censor you. If you don't think that's sick, then you're a sick freak. You're a sick freak person. And I don't care if someone says they're a Christian. The devil knows the Bible inside and out. You know, the devil knows the Bible. Once again, we confirm I don't have Pastor Greg Locke on this year.
Yeah.
My mistake. Pastor Greg Locke will be at the event also January 7th, January 8th. So it's going to be a great event. And so the troll, if you don't provide your information, shut up.
Yeah, put your phone number up there.
Just shut up. Look, I'm not 20. I'm not 30. I'm a senior citizen according to people. Okay. So if you want to throw your big mouth out, call us. Anytime, and those of you on Twitter that take this and go, you upset the lemon, and you have me trending on GOP COVID update. You're another bunch of cowards. Any day you want to do a workout there, you want to do a workout, the guy in GOP COVID update who said I should get the Herman Cain Award, that I should die. Any place, anytime, let's go. This is old school. I'm so tired of keyboard warriors. It's a friggin' joke. That's the reason why we started tapsamerica.com. Because the political people you guys get so scared and intimidated. It's a joke.
Just real quick, great to talk to Sherry Gentry today.
Sherry Gentry's awesome.
And then also Teresa Dawson, we love you too. Christopher, we appreciate you.
Christopher, Teresa, Terry, you're awesome. And I know my wife sent an email out today about her coughing and her hacking and the machine we have in our home. It's just phenomenal, right?
Yep.
Because we had a little power surge last night. The machine went out and she was asthma and allergies, hawking, coughing, hacking. Within an hour, it's all gone again. That machine, you responded to that, get a hold of Christy. You're not talking to me. You're talking to her about it. She'll share with you. And then I suggest to get the machine in your home. So guys, with that said, good night. God bless you. Take action. Huge call tonight. And I'll be taking this show and taking this section of Pastor Shane and Brother Toto about taps and putting that into a separate section. Yeah, Sherry, the reason why I just told you, because the troll was going the entire time with Toto for an hour, aggravating everybody in Rumble. So that's the reason why I chose to do it, because he was aggravating me the whole time during Toto's Toto show.
Oh yeah, that's nice. What Sherry wrote, you go, John. I love you and Christy, and thank you for helping me with Dr. Betsy.
Sherry, you're awesome. I mean, Sherry, you're awesome. Betsy's awesome. We love you. That's what it's about. It's about patriots. Keyboard warrior. What a coward. Gave me enough information. It's all I'm comfortable with. What a joke. What a joke. 561-847-3467 is our number. It scrolls across the screen the entire time. ConservativeBusinessJournal.com. Full disclosure. It's on. It's game on time. So, and guys, make sure you join tapsamerica.com. You click to enroll. Let them know we sent you, John DeLemme. So, and let us know you joined. Appreciate that. And I'll see all you guys in January 7th, January 8th, 2022. Huge event. And you guys get a surprise bonus. Use Toto. You use the code Toto, and get $100 off. $397. Boom. $297.
Thank you, Kelly Newton. Great show.
Kelly, you're awesome. It's on. All right, guys. Good night. God bless you. Game on.